1976. It's an ordinance. I didn't spend it, go to the bottom.
Well, good evening, everyone. I want to welcome you all to the January 2nd, 2018 meeting of the Whitehall City Council for the purpose of considering such matters as may come before it. As usual, I'm going to ask everyone to please stand for a moment of silence and remain standing for the pledge. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Frymark, please call the roll.
Elmore?
Here.
Coniston?
Here.
Tanner?
Here.
Beck? Here. Morrison?
Here.
Bailey?
Here.
Rodriguez? President Grant?
Present.
Mr. President, move to excuse the absent member.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Mr. Canner to excuse the absent member. Ms. Frymark, please call the roll.
Elmore?
Yes.
Coniston?
Yes.
Tanner?
Yes.
Beck? Yes. Morrison?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
The absent member has been excused. Our first opportunity for poll public for 2018. Who wants to be first? No one? All right. One more time. Okay. We'll move on to our standing committee reports. However, due to the fact that we have had no new committee meetings since our last meeting, we will dispense with those and move on to our officials' reports. And we will begin with our mayor, Ms. Kim Maggard.
Good evening. I have no report this evening. Thank you.
All right. We'll move on to our city attorney, Mr. Michael Bivens.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of council, and everyone who came out tonight. Thank you for coming out on this cold evening. From the city attorney's office, we would like to report just the numbers from Mayor's Court for the month of December. In the month of December, we prosecuted 190 cases. Out of those 190 cases, only 48 of those were Whitehall residents, and only 19 of those were of a criminal nature. So that was about a 10% ratio with respect to December. The year-to-date numbers were 2,662 cases were prosecuted in Whitehall's Mayor's Court in 2017. 760 of those were Whitehall residents. That's about 28% of the total. Out of that 28%, only 12% of those were of a criminal nature. And I'll keep reiterating this as much as possible. The reason why I give these numbers is so that as you're out in the community, as you're listening to these numbers, and as you're the ambassadors of Whitehall, you can safely say Whitehall is a safe place to live. We are a city of opportunity, and those opportunities are reflective in our community and reflective in the numbers, and the data doesn't lie. So those are the numbers for 2017. Just as a date board, the Whitehall Rams, their legal Rams will be going to Franklin County Municipal Court January the 26th to compete in the Ohio Mock Court Trial Competition. We successfully took the kids to Pickerington High School and had a scrimmage, and I'll tell you what, our kids held their own. They held their own. They let Pickerington know that they're coming, and they're coming geared up, and they're ready to roll. So you're welcome to come. It's open for the public. If you need any additional information, you know how to find me, and I can get you anything that you need so that you can come down and root for our legal Rams.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
If I were out there talking to the public, and someone were to say, well, what are the other types of cases that are tried in criminal court, Whitehall Mayor's Court, what would I be able to say to them?
Right. Well, the way that I look at our criminal cases, I look at them on a number of ratios. I look at crimes against property, crimes against persons, and crimes where there are victimless crimes. And so when I look at the numbers of crimes against property and crimes against persons, neighbor to neighbor in the city of Whitehall, that number is at least 2 to 3% when you look at it like that. But when you open the door to OVIs, traffic cases, things like that, I really have to applaud our Whitehall Police Department, because you can't drive through the city of Whitehall reckless. You can't drive through the city of Whitehall with no operator's license. You can't drive through the city of Whitehall swerving. You will get caught, and that reflects in the numbers. That's why the numbers is 2,662, because the majority of our cases are traffic.
Okay, good. That's what I would like to be able, that's what I wanted. I didn't want to give anybody any false information, but I'm glad to know that that's the way that it is. So,
Absolutely.
okay,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, next we have our city auditor, Mr. Dan Miller.
Thank you, Mr. President. Happy New Year to everybody. I have no official report tonight.
All righty, thank you, sir. Our Director of Development and Public Service, Mr. Zach Woodruff, is up next.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no official report this evening. I would like to express my condolences to Councilmember Rodriguez, who lost his father last Friday, and just ask that you keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
Somebody just kicked me under the table, so I believe it's time to hear from our treasurer, Mr. Steve Winslow.
Talk about rehab. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm pleased to be here tonight.
We're happy to see you here.
Well, good. I'm thrilled to be here, but I have no official report tonight.
All right, thank you, sir. Well, we have no officials reports have been filed in the council office since our last meeting, so we'll move on to our communications, petitions, and claims. However, we have received no communications, petitions, or claims since the agenda was published. And so we will now move on to, we do have a public hearing this evening, and it is Ordinance 116-2017. It's amending Section 1127.02, titled Sign Standards by Zone in the Codified Ordinances of the City of Whitehall to update the Industrial Sign Code. So I will open that public hearing at this time and ask if there is anyone who would like to come forward to speak in favor of Ordinance 116-2017. State your name and address for the record, please.
Joe Ryan, 360 South Yearling Road, South Pole, Ohio. Something like that. Okay, so for this ordinance, similarly to what we were doing last year, we are trying to be proactive and looking for things in the code that need to be updated and changed, similar to the inpatient treatment code update that we had a few months ago. So with this, while we were reading through our industrial sign code, we noticed that in certain instances currently, you can have a sign up to 45 feet tall in the industrial zoning, which is along Schofield, along Poth Road. And with what we've been doing the past 3 years, with the aesthetics improving, with beautifying Whitehall through our infrastructure, we don't believe that that is really appropriate anymore and not the look that we want to go with. So what we said was, well, Schofield Drive, Poth Road aren't that really different, and they're pretty similar to Broad Street, Main Street, and Hamilton Road, which is under the overlay. But because they are industrial zoning, they don't fall in that overlay. However, we did borrow some of the verbiage from the commercial overlay and borrowed it and put it into the industrial code. So now if you are in the I-1 district, which is on the south side of Poth Road and Schofield, you can have a 6-foot ground sign, just like you can on Broad, Hamilton, and Main. And then on the north side of Poth in the I-2 district, where there's some larger buildings, we will allow you to have a 15 foot monument sign, which is the same as for the industrial exemption, which is in the overlay. So again, because Schofield and Poth are similar to our other commercial corridors, we feel like this is a lot more appropriate for the look that we're trying to convey for the city, while still also being fair to our business owners who want to put in new signage.
What questions might council have?
I know the new council members are very excited.
Well, I'm in total agreement with 45 feet.
Yes. Yes. So again, we're being proactive and trying to change these things before a proposal like that
Right.
occurs this year.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to come forward and speak in favor of ordinance 116, 2017? Is there anyone who'd like to come forward at this time to speak in opposition to ordinance 116, 2017? One more time, is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to ordinance 116, 2017? All right, I will close the public hearing on ordinance 116, 2017 at this time. And we will now go to our verification of copies. And Ms. Frymark, please call the roll on whether each member of council is given a copy of each item of the legislation listed on the agenda prior to the meeting, and including any add-on legislation.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Tanner,
Yes.
Heck, yes. Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
All right, we'll move on to our ordinances and resolutions for the evening. We'll begin with third readings, and we have ordinance 116, 2017, which says amending section 1127.02 titled Sign Standards by Zone in the codified ordinances of the City of Whitehall to update the industrial sign code.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to amend as written ordinance 116-2017, please. Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Tanner, a second by Mr. Morrison to amend ordinance 116, 2017 as written. Questions or comments? Ms. Frymark, please call the roll.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Tanner,
Yes.
Heck, yes. Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Ordinance 116 has been amended.
Mr. President, I'd now like to introduce ordinance number 116-2017 for its adoption, please. Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Tanner, second by Mr. Morrison for introduction and adoption of ordinance 116, 2017. Questions or comments? Ms. Frymark, please call the roll.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Tanner,
Yes.
Heck, yes. Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Ordinance 116, 2017 has been adopted. It's the only item we have under third reading. Under second reading, we have ordinance 122, 2017. It's to amend the city income tax code to adopt sections 718.80 through 718.95 of the Ohio Revised Code and declaring an emergency, and that ordinance is being read by title only. As the only item we have under second reading, under first reading, we have ordinance 1, 2018. It's an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute necessary conveyance documents to acquire property from H. Eugene Fletcher, located at 51 through 91 South Hamilton Road, Whitehall, Ohio. That is being read by title only. Next, we have Resolution 1, 2018. It's resolving to approve then and now certificates and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I'd like to introduce Resolution 1, 2018, move for suspension of rules.
Second?
I have a motion by Mr. Bailey and a second by Ms. Coniston for introduction and suspension of all, or for the suspension of all rules on Resolution 1, 2018. Questions or comments? Ms. Frymark, please call the roll.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Tanner,
Yes.
Heck, yes. Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
The rules have been suspended on Resolution 1, 2018.
Move to adopt.
Second?
The motion by Mr. Bailey was a second by Ms. Coniston for adoption of Resolution 1, 2018. Questions or comments? Ms. Frymark, please call the roll.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Tanner,
Yes.
Heck, Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
All right, Resolution 1, 2018 has been adopted. Our next resolution is 2, 2018. It's a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a letter of intent with property owner H. Eugene Fletcher for the purchase of property located at 51 through 91 South Hamilton Road, Whitehall, Ohio.
Mr. President, wish to introduce Resolution 2, 2018, and move for the suspension of all rules.
Second.
I have a motion for suspension of all rules on Resolution 2, 2018, and a second by Ms. Elmore. Questions or comments? Ms. Frymark, please call the roll.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Tanner,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
The rules have been suspended on Resolution 2, 2018.
Mr. President, move to adopt Resolution 2, 2018.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Morrison, a second by Ms. Elmore for adoption of Resolution 2, 2018. Questions or comments? Ms. Frymark, please call the roll.
Elmore,
Yes.
Coniston,
Yes.
Tanner,
Yes.
Heck, Morrison,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Resolution 2, 2018 has been adopted. It's the last item of legislation we have this evening. However, it is an opportunity for a second full public. If anyone would like to take advantage of it, you have up to 3 minutes. Please come forward at this time. Please state your name and address for the record.
Gerald Dixon, 3877 Doney Street. I'd like to wish everyone a Happy New Year.
You too.
I wanted to take a moment as councilpersons Elmore and Heck embark on their time as their respective wards' representatives to wish them well in their endeavors. At this early stage in their service, mine and all their constituents' trust is simply given them, done so in a good-natured belief in their capacities to do this job well with whatever abilities, talents, and judgments they may possess. That trust which will rest solely in their hands, honored, earned, or squandered. The final analysis of which will be the citizens' right to judge. It is my eager hope at the beginning of a newly elected official's term that they will keep close to their hearts the holiest of tenets and principles of their jobs. That there will never be a time when they stand on that dais, hands on hearts, and recite the words with liberty and justice for all, and have them ring hollow with hypocrisy from the job they have done. That they will mean it with every fiber of their political will and action. For it is in their service to our great country's Constitution and Bill of Rights, for the people, that their highest and chief responsibility and obligations lie. I trust that they know these things. However, there have been others who betrayed these tenets, and so they have made me a tad untrusting and skittish. Forgive me that. As well, teams are all fine and good for sports, but when it comes to the people's business, the only team you should be playing on is either Team America or Team Citizen. All others take a back seat to these foremost of your considerations. You are here representing not the city, but the citizens of the city. It is the mayor's job to represent the city itself. I appreciate and trust in both of your intelligence. I beg you to not allow it to go squandered in your time here. There are those whom I've watched closely over the years simplify and shut down too deep of conversations on matters that affect the citizens because they don't either have in-depth argument, they don't want to allow contrary opinions, or they just, quote unquote, want to get home. If they cannot adequately argue a point or understand issues on deeper levels than surface, or don't really want to serve, that is their sin and problem and shouldn't be yours. Please don't allow their weaknesses to drag your strengths down. Lastly, congratulations to Ms. Elmore on being Whitehall's first African-American woman on council. It is a distinction as a Democrat that I, you, and so many others have fought to see become realities for a long time. Congratulations. As well, Ms. Heck, I'm sure your husband and his family are so pleased to see the Heck name up here being represented with such honor. They must be so proud. Congratulations to you and all the Hecks. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice.
Is there anyone else who would like to come forward at this time? All right, we will move on to Community Date Board.
Chief Crispin scheduled his third Stay for Whitehall Town Hall. It will be Thursday, February 15th, 6 o'clock at the New Life Church campus.
Who else has something for Community Date Board?
All right, it has to be said. Easter eggs, March 24th. You were all waiting for it.
All right, who else has something?
January 27th is a basketball game, and they're going to be honoring some, the Hall of Fame winners, present and past.
I believe that selection process will begin tomorrow evening. Does anyone else have something for Community Date Board? All right, we shall move on to full council, and we begin with Ms. Elmore.
Well, I'd like to say, first of all, Happy New Year. Thank you for everybody that has come out today in this cold weather. Also, I want to take this opportunity to thank you, Gerald Dixon, for your comments, and also to all the people that elected me into this office. It is my hope that I will do what I was sent here to do, and that is represent the people. I work together with the team up here that I respect a whole lot. And so with that and all the teamwork that we have and what we're going to do together, I believe that we're going to move Whitehall forward, and we're going to make Whitehall a city to be reckoned with, that others look at. I also want to take this opportunity to thank everybody that is present here today for all the things that they've done for Whitehall to bring it to where it is today. I want to also say this, that this is an opportunity to do and to champion some ideas and some issues that have never been done before, that we will tread and embark upon a lot of things that haven't happened in Whitehall before, and we may stumble sometimes. But at the end of the day, please come with your ideas, your thoughts, and not just your criticisms, but what better can you do to add to what we're doing? And so I'm just thankful for this opportunity. I'm thankful for being able to serve, because this is a position of service, and I just believe that, God willing, I will do my best to do what I was sent here to do, and that's represent the people. So thank you so much. That's all.
All right, Ms. Coniston.
Happy New Year, everyone, and stay safe and stay warm.
Mr. King.
Thank you, Mr. President. I thank you all for coming out tonight. I know it's really cold. Hope you all had a nice New Year, and look forward to the New Year's coming, and we all had a nice holiday. I'd like to also welcome Councilperson Elmore, Councilperson Heck, to our team that we have out here, and I know we'll all do a really good job. And I thank you so much for all the effort that you put in, both of you, for running a really good campaign. Mr. Bivens, I want to thank you for all the numbers that you give us. I know here it's only January the 2nd, you've already got our December numbers, and you have the year-end, total year-end, and I thank you so much for your time. I know I was one of the first ones to ask you about this. I think we were talking at the basketball game one night, and I want to thank you. It's really good information that members of council, and I'm sure the administration can use also. Joe, I want to thank you. I remember the first time you ever came up to this podium up here and looked at council. Oh, but you do great, and I think you do a really good job. So keep up the good work. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
All right, Ms. Heck.
I want to thank everybody for coming. I hope everybody had a great New Year. And thank you for your kind words, Mr. Dixon. And I just look forward to working with this team and seeing and showing everybody what I can do. That's all, Mr. President.
Mr. Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also would like to wish everyone a happy New Year. Thank you all for coming out, and look forward to serving with Ms. Elmore and Ms. Heck on this new year and new council, and moving forward with the city, working with administration. I think we're going to have a great year.
Mr. Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. President, and Also want to thank you all for coming out. It's braving the cold elements. Would like for you to keep Chris Rodriguez's family in your prayers over the loss of his father. Lori, I want to thank you for your comments. We are a team, and we function as a team, and that's what makes things work. Never do we look at things as Democrat and Republican. And I think we all up here serve the citizens, and we're not on our own agendas. So I thank you for your comments. That's all I have, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Well, I do want to welcome our two new council members and our newly re-elected council member. Looking forward to working with everyone up here for the next 2 years to our next election, when we will have some more new faces added to the council. And I do want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. It is a nasty, cold evening out there. I also want to say what a good job the city did with the holidays of handling the snow and the freezing conditions that we have out there and had out there on the streets. So I want those guys to go out there. They're out there in the middle of the night oftentimes, and we're all toasty in our beds, hoping that the streets will be clear the next morning when we get up, and son of a gun, they are clear the next morning, so they do a great job. We have no further business before us this evening, so I would therefore entertain a motion for adjournment.
Mr. President, move to adjourn.
Second?
A motion by Mr. Bailey, second by Mr. Cantor for adjournment. Ms. Frymark, please call the roll.
Elmore?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Tanner?
Yes.
Heck? Morrison?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
All right, we are adjourned, and I will see all of you at our next council meeting, which will be in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for being here.
Hopefully it'll be regular winter weather, like in the 20s.
Yeah, at least in the 20s.
Hey, Fred.
I don't think so.